I think everyone can agree that what happened today at the high school in Maryland should not have taken place. And while the debate rages between what the solution is and what needs to happen in order for something to take place and for consolation to take place and become a reality, many people are divided on the issue. As I contemplate about the evil and the decrepitness in our world, many have used that as evidence and even proof that God cannot exist, because if he did exist, evil would not exist. If God did exist, then if evil exists at the same time, why doesn't he do something about it? And if he is doing something about it, but it doesn't seem like he is doing something about it, then he's either incompetent or he just doesn't care. The theology behind those questions and the ideology behind those ideas and concepts have been realities for centuries, and people have been debating these issues back and forth for many, many a century. Here's what I understand. The existence of evil denotes the reality and rather assumes the reality of good. And if there is such thing as evil, there is such thing as good. And if there is such thing as evil and good, there has to be a standard whereby I, as a human being, can determine what is good and what is evil. And if there is a standard of what is good and is evil, there has to be a standard giver. Now, as a Christian, I've come to the conclusion that the standard giver is God, the standard is the law of God, and that's what helps us to distinguish between what is right and wrong. So the actual existence of evil, rather than disproving the existence of God, solidifies the reality of the existence of an almighty God. Now here's the big question. Now if that logic is true and is veracious in its nature, then what do you do with the evil in this world? What does God say? The Bible tells us that Jesus tells us a parable where there are wheat and tares, wheat and weeds that grow in a particular farmer's ground. And so the Bible tells us that in this parable, the workers of this master ask the master, "Master, didn't you plant good seed? Where did these weeds come from? Where did these tares come from?" And the master said very, very clearly, "An enemy has done this. I was not responsible, but an enemy has done this." And the Bible tells us that the workers naturally would say to the master, "Well, do you want us to go take care of that and just pull them out of the ground?" And so the master tells them in the parable of Jesus, he said, "Don't do that, because in the event of doing that, you pull up the wheat as well as the tares. So let them grow unto the harvest, and then the reapers will come and then separate them. We will burn the bad and we will keep the good." Now Jesus gives the interpretation to this parable to the disciples so that they can fully understand the implications of what is being taught by the Master Jesus. And he tells them, Jesus that is, he tells the disciples that he is the farmer that planted the good seed. The devil is the one that planted the tares. The field is the world. The good seed are the children of light, and the bad seed, the tares, are the children of the wicked one. And then it tells us that the harvest represents the end of the world, and the reapers are the angels that come at the second coming of Jesus Christ to separate the good from the bad. As I read that parable, and as I thought and contemplated on that parable, especially today, with what happened in Maryland, and what happened in Florida, and what's happened in politics, and what's happened in our world today, I've come to the conclusion that though things are bad, really, really bad, there is a big but. That but is the fact that God has a solution. God has told us in this parable of Matthew chapter 13 that the solution is that he is going to take care of the tares. He is going to take care of the evil. He is going to take care of the devil. He is going to take care of the problems of our world. Now, I don't know about you, but that provides me something called, hope. It provides me a sense of hope because someone is in control. So this particular week, when you're struggling with what's going on in the world, when you're struggling in your personal life, remember there is someone who has a solution, and that someone is God. So until the next time, this is Pastor Tello reminding you that thoughts do change lives.